There was a time when mobile first-person shooters weren't taken seriously. They were watered-down versions of the real thing, cheap, clunky, and forgotten. But then, in July 21st, 2014, Modern Combat 5 dropped 11 years ago. This wasn't just another app, it was a full-featured online mobile FPS for your phone with loadouts, classes, kill streaks, and maps like they belonged on a console. Now for many of us, we couldn't afford gaming PCs or consoles, so Modern Combat 5 was our Call of Duty. This was our Black Ops, and this was all we had. Every match felt intense, the sound design, the pace, the recoil. It just wasn't another game, it was the closest thing to a competitive FPS that mobile has ever seen. Gameloft wasn't just ahead of the curve, they set the curve back in 2014, and the community was amazing. We had clans, we had tournaments, we went deep into the meta, we took Modern Combat seriously. We were on Discord for hours every night, and I was just 14 at the time. This game was literally everything from streaming it to making YouTube videos on it, and I can honestly say, without this game, my channel would not be what it is today. This game is what got me into mobile FPS so many years ago, but in 2025, this game is nowhere close to the same. What better way to see what happened to Modern Combat 5 than diving right back in and re-downloading the game? So that's exactly what I did, and the first thing you have is that unskippable prologue mission every time you downloaded the game, but it did bring back lots and lots of nostalgia, and honestly, even though this game came out in 2014, the graphics actually look pretty decent in 2025. Things haven't really changed that much. The game still looks good. It does play a little stiffer and the controls feel a little bit weird, but a lot of nostalgia flows back right in. This game really did pave the pathway for many games we see today like Call of Duty Mobile and PUBG Mobile, because when Modern Combat 5 came out, it really showed that a mobile FPS can be very, very successful. And with Modern Combat 5's very unbalanced weapon system, people just typically throw impacts and you can still able to knife people from like 20 feet away. But it was really fun, and surprisingly, with the game this old and not that many updates, I didn't see much hackers or anything going on at all. The server still ran well, and actually it was pretty fun to play. It really was enjoyable and brought back those memories from my childhood, but so many things have been added to this game. There's just so many different things going on, from when they added armor and everything else and added tiered weapons, but it was fun. Now, we can't talk about Modern Combat 5 without talking about one of its most controversial things, its pay-to-win aspect of the game. As innovative as it was, Gameloft innovated the most when it came to monetizing this game. There were many updates when this game came out, and most of them just incentivized you to spend more and more money. When the game first came out, it was actually paid, and it's sad because for paid players like me, we expected more of a premium experience, but sadly after a few years we didn't get that at all. You had certain armors you had to spend hours and hours of grinding, or just simply spend money on their loot box system. Pretty much every single thing that Call of Duty did, Modern Combat tried to copy. There were even weapons that had built-in aim assist, and if you didn't want to spend the money, it was a hard grind to get certain things, and a lot of these items, they were almost required to stay competitive with other players. I remember grinding for like 10 hours straight one night with my clan members just to be able to get one of the pro weapons. This game was truly a pay-to-win game, and it had a lot of controversy in the community and definitely made the community split. Some thought it was fair and understand that developers had to make their money, while others understood that there are better ways to make a game be monetized while being free without having a pay-to-win aspect. For example, look at PUBG, look at Fortnite, but back in these days, Modern Combat 5, specifically Gameloft, was trying every single thing possible to make money off this game, and it definitely split the fan base and turned a lot of users off and made a lot of users go over to different games like Bullet Force, Critical Ops, and Standoff 2. In September of 2017, Gameloft launched what was supposed to be the future of the Modern Combat series, Modern Combat Versus, but what we got wasn't the future at all. It was sadly the beginning to an end. Right away, it was clear that Modern Combat 6 was not a reboot at all, it was a reinvention of what it was. It shifted away from a realistic style with loadouts like Call of Duty to more of a 4v4 hero shooter gameplay sort of game where you had an agent with one ability and one role. It was no longer about building your own play style, you pretty much did what you were assigned. Modern Combat 5 gave us freedom, while Modern Combat Versus pretty much just gave us presets. Let's not kid ourselves here, this was clearly just trying to be a copy of Overwatch with a few aspects of Valorant and Paladins when it comes to the art style. The graphics were definitely ground pushing, but besides that, this game was pretty bland and lacked a lot of content. Gameloft was really good at doing what was popular on the console side. When Modern Combat 4 came out, Call of Duty was popular. When Call of Duty started getting a little futuristic, we had Modern Combat 5. When Battle Royale became popular, they added a Battle Royale version to the game. And then when Overwatch was popular, we got this sloppy mess. And Gameloft wasn't even leading the trend anymore at this point, they were simply chasing them. It was brutal. Fans of this game honestly did not like it when they realized it wasn't a sequel at all. It didn't feel familiar, the movement was sluggish, the time to kill felt completely off to the other versions of the game, and it launched with very little content and a broken matchmaking system. Let's be clear, this was not a sequel to the game whatsoever. There was no campaign, there was no loadout customization, there was no deep multiplayer strategy. Everything that made Modern Combat, this game completely lacks. Today, this game is a complete ghost town. There are no updates, no community, no road rap, just a leftovers of a shell running on fumes. When it comes to games, once Gameloft realized it's dead, they gave the game no more attention at all, and sadly, this copy of Overwatch has been left to die. In early 2024, it became official that Modern Combat Versus was removed from the App Store and its servers were quietly shut down. No goodbye, no final update, just gone. So with that, is there any real chance of Modern Combat 6? Sadly not. Gameloft doesn't even really make games like Modern Combat anymore. They moved into branded IPs, racing games, and casual arcade projects. They're leaning more into safer bets like Disney collabs and titles really designed to appeal to a wide and more safer market. No more tactical shooters with a competitive edge, just high retention and highly monetizable games. That's not really a dig, it's just simple survival at this point. Back in 2014, Gameloft was really the king of mobile shooters, but today it's not even the same league. When Call of Duty Mobile dropped, it set a new standard. When PUBG Mobile exploded, it brought millions of competitive players, real esports, and cross-platform expectations. Gameloft couldn't even compete, not on just servers, not on polish, not on scale, and after Modern Combat Versus flopped, it was clear they weren't willing to take that risk again. Versus was supposed to be the brand new face of the franchise, but instead of honoring what made Modern Combat 5 feel special, it was a trend following hybrid and it completely failed. And for a publisher like Gameloft, a failure like that means no more chances. There's no more money in making games that people used to love, only in games people can't stop spending on. Simply put, Modern Combat 5 didn't go out with a bang, it went out in silence. No trailer, no Modern Combat 6, no final match, just ghost lobbies and a dead sequel. It's hard to believe that one of the most important mobile franchises once defined an era is now just a memory. But even with Modern Combat being gone, it's not forgotten. It built something, it built communities, it built creators, it honestly built me. It taught a whole generation of players that mobile could be taken seriously, competitive, and fun. And no matter what happens in the next mobile FPS, Modern Combat 5 will always be where it started at for a lot of us. Rest in peace, Modern Combat. You were flawed, but you're all that we had.